प्रतिबोधितां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवतीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We have been looking at this very wonderful chapter, unfolding the nature of Bhagavan as the truth of oneself, which is beyond form, name, etc. Satchidanandam Brahma. And all the names, forms, etc. belong to this realm called Prakriti. She who creates, she who has the Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti Swarupini, whereas the consciousness is free of all doing, free of the results of doing also, karma phala. And so therefore this is not just some kind of an abstraction. This has to be analyzed and applied to oneself. This has to be applied to oneself. That this Atma, which Satchidanandam Brahma is what? This Brahman is Atma. There is no Brahman without being Atma. So therefore, this Atma is free of everything, and this Atma is myself alone. That means what? I am free of name, form and kartritva, bhoktritva, buddhi. The identification, I am the karta and I am the doer and I have been done in, all these things we saw. Then after the unfoldment of the knowledge, the vision of Vedanta from verses, in verses 3 and 4, from verses 4 to 10, 5 to 10 actually, we saw the nuanced way in which the Prakriti does everything, and the Prakriti is based on the laws of nature. Prakriti means nature, laws of nature. Bhagavan's nature and your nature are in a way one and the same, one big difference. Bhagavan's nature is all knowledge, and until one gains the knowledge, the Jiva's nature is all ignorance. So we saw that Prakriti, because of the karma of the Jivas, creates everything, and then the Prakriti is responsible, and for this creation, whatever karma phala is there, or whatever something to be affected is there, Ishvara is unaffected. This is on the macro scale. On the micro scale also, I have to take it as whatever is happening, I have nothing to do with it. This is of course after 8 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise it will become a defense for every killer. Every person who is a serial offender can say, I am not guilty because I am akarta. That's not the idea. This is after exposure to Vedanta alone one can say. So then that brought us to the 11th verse, where 11th and 12th verse, so where we are now. And then there the people, the human beings are divided into two categories. This the Upanishad loves to do, and the Bhagavad Gita is a very good student of the Upanishad. So the Bhagavad Gita also loves to do this. And what is this? So talk about what happens when people go according to the Upanishads and according to the whatever has been taught, and then what happens when they do not. Both those things are talked about. And so here two kinds of people are talked about. And one of them is what? People who are unprepared for this knowledge, not even the slightest bit of curiosity about what is Bhagavan, where is Bhagavan, and is Bhagavan separate from me, is Bhagavan the same as me. All of this is not there at all. They could as well be asleep. They could as well be doing whatever they wanted. And so this kind of an idle curiosity of Bhagavan is not there. These people are leading a parallel life. They are not. They are just they are not at all interested in anything. And Bhagavan goes to the extent of calling them what? Mudhaha. In which verse? 11th verse. Yeah. Avajananti mam mudhaha. There are two ways of knowing me. One is at least to know me as the cause of creation. There is a separation. Oh, Jagat Karanam Brahma, you are the cause of creation. I bow to you. And there is a separation, but at least that's the beginning. Because in the beginning there will always be separation. Then with the exposure to the knowledge, then that separation is bridged through the study of the Upanishads, the exposure through the exposing oneself to the study of the Upanishad via the Guru and the Shastra. Then this divide is as though divide is bridged. But here there is no bridge required because they are not in the least bit curious. So there are two ways to know Bhagavan. One is as the cause of the universe, as something to be revered, as something, the source from which everything has come. This is what one way to know. This is how many people know Bhagavan, and that's going to be talked about later. And another way to know Bhagavan is as the truth of myself. Mama Bhuta, what is that? Manushim Tanum Ashritam. Manushim Tanum Ashritam. The one who has resorted to taking on a human body as it were. Taking on without taking anything on. As though taken on a human body. So the truth of this body, mind, sense complex is Ishvara. The truth of every body, mind, sense complex is Ishvara. Neither this position they take, which is the position of the Vedantin, that the truth of this body, mind, sense is Ishvara. This is Jnana, this is Moksha. That of course they do not know, and they don't even know me as separate from themselves, but as the source, the Moola Karana of the Jagat. They don't know that either. And so, describing them in greater detail, Bhagavan is on a roll. He just got warmed up in verse number 11. Let us see what he says in verse number 12. Moghasha mogha karmanaha. Moghasha mogha karmanaha. Mogha jnana vichetasaha. Mogha jnana vichetasaha. Rakshasi masurim chaiva. Rakshasi masurim chaiva. Prakritim mohinim shritaha. So, what is the one word that stands out? Nice try, but what's the one word that recurs? Mogha. Mogha means useless. That was nice. Rakshasa stands out, yeah. More about that in chapter 16, which is called Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. Okay, which is I love the translations of these titles. Godly and devilish qualities. This is how the 16th chapter is translated. So anyhow, here is mogha means vyartha, useless. And then moghasha. Moghasha means those with useless desires. Now, who is Bhagavan to say what is useless and what is not useless? Who is he? I should know what is useful and useless. Well, Bhagavan is objective, alright. And the jiva carrying these mogha type ashas, carrying the moghasha are what? Those jivas are subjective. That's why from the objective standpoint, what is the truth? That anything other than the truth of oneself, desiring anything other than that is a useless desire. No, but I want to give money to people. How can that be a useless desire? I am helping people. I want to build a temple. I want to build an ashram. I want to build an orphanage. I want to start a hospital. How can that be a useless desire? It is a useless desire because if it is not accompanied by antahkarana shuddhi. It is the sankalpa is good, not that the sankalpa is bad. But when that is not understood for the sake of self-growth, then that desire has mixed in it certain agenda. I want to build this hospital so that I can be the chairperson. I want to do this because I want to be famous. I want to give because I want to be known as someone who is a giver. There is a compulsion there. Like even Karna. Who is Karna? Who was Karna? Unacknowledged son of Kunti. You can't call him Kunti Putra because Kunti herself did not acknowledge him. She just threw up her hands in helplessness when he came to her begging and calling her mother. She would not grant him the status of son. She said, I love you from far. Stay there. All this time you have been raised by people who love you. You have your mother. Her name is Radha. And I love you from a distance. And I am committed to these 5 sons that I have. And even from a child, he knew he did not belong with the chariot repairers, chariot repairing people he was born in. He felt a kind of out of his element. Blessed by the Lord's Son, he looked brilliant. He was born with a ready-made pair of earrings. That's why he is called Karna. And then Duryodhana, always looking for a way to slight the Pandavas, befriended him, tried to make him part of the royal club, told him, you are just an abandoned brother, you belong here. So he kept getting him entry into the palace and other palatial competitions, archery competition, etc. He started to get him entry. There also he was insulted and ran crying home. And then again Duryodhana befriended him only with a view. He did not want to befriend him any other way, for any other reason, only to have an upper hand over the Pandavas, so that he could nurse the hatred and make him fight against the Pandavas. That was his only reason. He was not interested in making this person, helping this person at all, helping Karna. And so Karna became a prey to flattery. Karna became a prey to somebody saying, oh, I love you so much. You are my bro. Come on, let's just do this together. We are together. We are from the same family. Here, I have a set of wonderful silk cloths. You can wear that. You don't have to wear what all the other chariot drivers wear. Here you wear this. You look nice. This is your color. This is what it is. Come to the palace every day, every week. Get your hair done by my hairdresser. Get a mani, get a pedi. Let's be friends and let's do all this. He invited him in the circle, and even in that circle, the other kings and princes with whom he was supposed to be on a par looked down upon him. Neither here nor there, like the dog, like the washer people's dog, neither here nor there. And then his giving nature became what? A compensatory mechanism, overcompensation. If I can't be known as a prince, then what will I do? I will be known as a giver of everything. I don't want anything. I'll just give everything away. So the giving came under pressure. That is usually the case. The giving or even any other good ideas. The ideas are good, but they come under the personal pressure of the ragadveshas and the fears that are nursed in the unconscious. So therefore, the Lord calls all these people Moghashaha. In fact, they are not interested even in building a hospital and all. Even for that, some Antakarana Shuddhi is needed to think of others than themselves. Here they are called Moghasha because all their thoughts are all about themselves alone, no one else. Moghasha. So you see, this is how the trajectory is. First there is the Sankalpa, then the Sankalpa takes the form of what? Asha, desire. And then the desire takes the form of Yatna, effort. And then, and before the Yatna, what is there? Some kind of a knowledge is there, some Jnanam is there. So that I want, this thing is there. Then Yatna. Then Yatna means action. Then the action always has what? Karma phala. This is how the trajectory goes. Following the trajectory, these people are roundly and unforgivingly criticized by Bhagavan. Moghashaha, mogha karmanaha. Since the sankalpa, the desire is useless, they are vain and useless desires. Those of vain and useless desires engage in useless actions. Because if you have useless desires, then they will lead to useless actions in order to gain those useless desires. And then it is powered by moghajnanaha. Moghajnanaha means they may be educated, they may have lot of degrees, they may have pedigrees, they may be able to quote this and that very well, they may be pandits, but they are pandits without really understanding anything of consequence. They know a lot of anatma. Anatma means nothing. They know a lot of nothing. That means what? What do they know? Nothing. Yeah, that is called moghajnanaha. Vichetasaha. Vichetasaha means totally free of discernment. There is no such thing called discernment. Atma, anatma, discernment is not there. Dharma, adharma, discernment is not there. Punya, papa, discernment is not there. No discernment. Those of absent discrimination, those who have not in the slightest idea of what choices to make. So their choices are wrong, their sankalpa is wrong, their actions they take towards making the sankalpa a reality is wrong. And then their knowledge is also wrong. This is how they are just in their own vanity. They think they are movers and shakers. They think so many people, I have so many people following me. Where are they? If you say, then they will say they are on YouTube. I am a, what is that called? Influencer. Influencer. First time somebody introduced themselves to me. I am an influencer. And I didn't hear it first time. I heard it as influenza, which is the long version of the word for flu. So that's what it is. Their fame spreads like influenza. That's why they are influencers. And so it's like, you see, Influencers means what? They want to create a following. They'll post a video that will get garner a lot of views and a lot of likes. That's the only thing they want. Nothing else. If they were at least sharing something of use, it's a different thing. They will only do whatever is, whatever is good for them. They want a following, they want fame, they want to be well known, and they know what are the things that work. And so like this, moghashaha mogha karmanaha mogha jnanaha vichetasaha. Vichetasaha means they are devoid of discrimination. So dharma and adharma, if they don't have discernment, then what will happen? They will use adharmic means to gain what they want. Why will they use adharmic means to gain what they want? They will use adharmic means because of the pressure of the raga and dvesha. The raga, the strong preferences and the strong prejudices exercise a painful pressure which the person cannot tolerate, and in trying to fulfill this raga and dvesha, what do? They flout dharma, take a shortcut, even if it's, means that they have to walk on the bodies of people. Doesn't matter. I want this badly, I will take a shortcut. And that is that kind of a prakriti, that kind of a swabhava they take recourse to is called Rakshasi Prakriti. Rakshasi. Rakshasi, Rakshasa means what? From whom you need protection, from whom you need raksha, is called Rakshasa. As soon as you see this person, you feel like praying and saying, where are you, O Lord, O Goddess, Trahi Mam, Pahi Mam? Where did you go? How could you leave me like this? This is what is called Rakshasi. Rakshasi pravrittihi or prakritihi. Then Asuri prakritihi. Asushu ramante iti asuraha. We saw that in the second chapter. Gatasu nagatasuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Asu is breath, generally sense organs. Asushu ramante iti asuraha. Asushu means in the realm of instant gratification and the sense organs. Ramante, they rebel, they derive their glory from instant gratification and revelry in the sense organs. That's why they are called asura. Which is better, asura or rakshasas? Both are terrible in their own way. But since they are both put together here, otherwise only one they could have done, I would say the rakshasas are a little more terrible. Okay, asuras are self-centered and they are just wanting to have instant gratification. In the course of instant gratification gaining, there is a fallout and they walk over people's rights, etc. Rakshasas, as we will see in the chapter later on, they are out to get people for just cruelty's sake, according to the Shastra. Chindhi, Bindhi, we will hear all these words. Cut this fellow, kill this fellow. Why are they alive? They are like dictators. They want world domination. This is wrong with all the demons we come across in the Purana. They were all bhaktas and they started to get really arrogant. Moghashaha, mogha karmanaha, mogha jnanaha, vichetasaha. And then after they got really arrogant, then Bhagavan appeared in front of them. The story goes, what did they ask for? World domination. I should not be killed. I want immortality. Stupid fellows, they thought immortality is centered on the body. Therefore, I should not be killed in the house or outside the house. I should not be killed during the day. I should not be killed at night. I should not be killed on the ground. I should not be killed in the sky. Every wish has a loophole. And for Bhagavan, it's not a effort to find a loophole. That's why Hiranyakashipu met his end on the lap of the Lord, which is neither the ground nor the Antariksha, on the threshold, which is neither inside nor outside, at twilight, which is neither day nor night. So this is how there are so many loopholes. And so like this, these are the people, Rakshasim, Asurim Chaiva, Mohinim Prakritim Ashritaha. They take recourse to Mohini Prakriti. What is Mohini Prakriti? A Prakriti named Mohini? No. A tamasic Prakriti. Mohini means tamas, that which deludes. First it deludes oneself and then it deludes others. Because these unscrupulous people, in order, for example, to get what they want, like they want to make money, so they will start a hedge fund. Very hedgy. That's why it's called hedge fund. And then they will say, here is some pyramid scheme. Put 2 rupees and then it will become 2 lakh rupees overnight. Can 2 rupees become 2 lakh rupees overnight? Never. But then this is how they advertise. They are not interested in dharma, adharma, nothing. So not only they themselves are deluded, they delude others. Swayam deluded, anyan deludayanti. They delude others as well, totally. And of course, the word Mohini, we immediately think of Vishnu Avatara. Mahavishnu wanted the asuras not to have the knowledge of immortality which came in the form of nectar, because they were not adhikaris. So he became she and then swayed along. Come along, boys. Here is the real nectar. She cloned the pot of nectar. So they both looked alike. And she said, that is just hot water. That's nothing. Come along, I have the real nectar. And she lured all the asuras into another tent and just gave them a placebo, some payasam. That's all she gave. And they went not because of the nectar, because they were not clear. What is that? No viveka. So they were not clear what they were looking for. They were deluded by her. They were just attracted to her beauty and they followed her. So Mohini Prakritim Ashritaha. So they make the wrong choices like these asuras did. And they make the wrong choices and therefore they are totally bereft of this knowledge, and you can't count them in the bhaktas at all. So by contrast, we have the next 2-3 verses. Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim prakritim ashritaha. Mahatmanaha means the great ones. Why are they the great ones? Are they jnanis? No, but they are bhaktas. Bhaktas are jnanis in the making, because bhakti leads you to Shastra, to Guru, to Vedanta. It has to. It culminates in Vedanta. One may start off as a bhakta, but the culmination, the fulfillment the bhakti gives, leads one to Atmajnanam. And so they are Mahatmas, great souls, great people. Whereas these great people, what do? Mahatmanastu mam bhutadim avyayam bhajanti. Skeletal sentence. Mahatmanahatu mam bhutadim avyayam mam bhajanti. This much we should understand first. So first, mam bhajanti, mahatmanaha. Mahatmanaha, subject, bhajanti, verb, and then what is the object? Mam. What is mam? Ishwaram. Ishwaram. Ishwaram mam bhajanti. So these great souls, bhajanti. Bhajanti, sevante, they take recourse to me. They bhajanti also, bhajan sevayam, they worship me, they take recourse to me. And then we can add the other words as adjectival, adverbial words. So, Mam bhajanti mahatmanah, He Partha, O Arjuna, these wonderful souls, these great souls worship me. And then how do they worship me? Bhutadim avyayam mam. So, this Bhutadim avyayam, these two words qualify mam. It is in the same case, case and gender and number, which is second case singular, the object. So, mam bhajanti, who is this mam? Bhutadim bhajanti. Bhutanam adihi bhutadihi, the one that was there before all the beings came into existence. Ishvara. Very nice term for Ishvara. And as a result, so was there means what? Sadeva Somya idamagre asit. Now poor Sat has died off. No, avyayam. That's why the word avyayam is added. Still there, not dead, unchanging. So they worship me, who is Ishvara, as what? As the source of the universe, as Jagat Karanam Brahma, who is Adi Parameshwara, because Adi means was there before the Jagat came into being. That being which was there before the Jagat started, that is who they worship, who is at once unchanging. They worship, they invoke. And then how do they invoke? They invoke Jnatva. Jnatva means they invoke after knowing me as the cause of the universe. They know me as the cause of the universe. They acknowledge, know means here acknowledge. They may not have full Vedanta knowledge, but they acknowledge me as the cause of the universe. Acknowledging me as the cause of the universe, they worship me, they invoke me, they understand that I am the one which is to be sought. I am Jneyam. This Avyayam Bhutadim Mam, this is only Jneya Padartha, this is the only Jneya Vastu they understand. And that is what, knowing that they worship. How do they worship? Ananya Manasa. They worship from the standpoint of a non-separate attitude. Still it is bhakti, still there will be separation. Still there are rituals they may be doing. But even in the rituals, there are mantras that unite the worshipper with the worshipped. Even if you look at Laghunyasa, you sanctify the whole body before the Sri Rudram is chanted. Prajanane Brahma Tishtatu, Padayor Vishnus Tishtatu, Hastayor Haras Tishtatu, Bhakvor Indras Tishtatu, Jathare Agnis Tishtatu, Hridaye Shivas Tishtatu, and then you touch your Nyasa means to touch those body parts. You are asked to invite the Lord to abide in those body parts which are being named. Kanthe vasavastishtantu, vaktre saraswati tishtatu, nasikayor vayus tishtatu, nayanayosh chandradityau tishthetam, karnayorashvinau tishthetam, lalate rudras tishtantu, मूर्ध्यादित्यास् तिष्ठन्तु, शिरसि महादेवस्तिष्ठतु, शिखायां वामदेवस्तिष्ठतु, पृष्ठे पिनाकी तिष्ठतु, पुरतः शूली तिष्ठतु, पार्श्वयोः शिवाशङ्करौ तिष्ठेतां, सर्वतो वायुस्तिष्ठतु. Like this. By the time you chant it, you are already in a transported place. It has produced a oneness. Just the accounting of these mantras after knowing the meanings. Meaning what? The whole celestial energies that I am calling, because they are non-separate, they are already. It's not that I am asking the Vayu to come and abide in the nostrils. Vayu is already in the nostrils. I'm acknowledging Vayu as Bhagavan. Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. So even though they may not know Vedanta, they know this much. And every worship, when you put the flowers on the Lord, you are asked to touch it to the heart and then put. From my heart to you, there is a oneness, there is a connection, and that connection is repeatedly forged because we are stupid, because we just get distracted, because we need to be told the same thing every day, because we just get into these habitual patterns and orientations of isolation, and that's why this is refreshed. The memory is refreshed each and every day, so that I am in that oneness. So from that spirit of oneness, they worship me. And then Ananya Manasa. Their mind is not anywhere else, their mind is with me. Because even when they look at their body parts, when they look at their hands, they see Indra. When they look at their throat, they see Vasus, Devatas, Dig Devatas. When all these things, this 8 Vasus are there. So they will see the Vasus in the throat. They see when they look at their head, they see Shiva, Mahadeva. Like this, there is a oneness already there. They have so much Shraddha, they have so much Bhakti, Ananya Manasa, Mam Bhajanti. Who are these people? Mahatmanaha. They are Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha. The word Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha is in apposition with Mahatmanaha. So these great people, these wonderful people, what are they? They have taken recourse to Daivi Prakriti, Sattvic people. Whereas Asuri Prakriti, who were there? Tamasic people. The people who are predominantly tamasic, here people who have taken recourse to that aspect of Maya. Maya has 3 gunas. So the first kind of people are tamasic with some rajas thrown in predominantly, and these people are predominantly sattvic. Sattvic means godly, saintly people. Saintly people, godly people, these are the people that are there, and they have taken recourse to sattva, they have cultivated the sattva in themselves. As a result, they worship me from this standpoint. And then, very beautiful description. Further, what do they do? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Satatam kirtayanto mam. यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते. So what do they do? Here 2 words describe their disposition and their action. So in the 13th verse we saw their disposition. Now what do they do? We see in the 14th verse. Satatam and Nitya Yuktaha. Satatam means always, without a break. Nitya Yuktaha, endowed with qualities such as dharma, patience, compassion. Nitya Yuktaha. Karma Yogena Yuktaha, endowed with Karma Yoga, endowed with dharma. What do they do? Upasate. Upasate sounds singular, doesn't it? Yeah. But being second conjugation, upaste, upasate, upasate, it's actually plural. Nitya Yuktaha upasate. They worship me, they invoke me. So let's just take the skeleton sentence. Nitya Yuktaha upasate. This is the skeletal sentence. Okay. So how do they worship? They worship being endowed with all the wonderful qualities of the bhaktas, because they are always appreciating me, and they are endowed with these qualities which are going to be told. What are these qualities? Then they are Dridhavrataha. Nityayuktaha and Dridhavrataha go together. They qualify these two words qualify the subject. These two words are the subject. Nityayuktaha Dridhavrataha upasate. Simple sentence. Dridhavrataha means those who have a single-minded commitment. What is the commitment? Chocolate cake. No? Okay. Then moksha. With moksha as their commitment, they are not dissuaded from that commitment. They are at that commitment all the time, night and day. Satatam. Satatam dridhavrataha. Satatam nityayuktaha. That satatam should be there, right? That's why the satatam is there right in the front. Satatam. Always. Without a break. It's not like today the commitment is Bhagavan, moksha, and then tomorrow it is something else. And then day after tomorrow, since the going gets tough, then I think of Bhagavan again. No. For whom this vrata, dridam vrataha means the dridam vratam yesham te. So for whom the commitment is certain commitment, unfailing commitment. The flame of mumukshuta is burning brightly. And they know how to keep that flame burning. They are not easily dissuaded. One day up, one day down, that doesn't, because if the karma doesn't favor, that doesn't mean they go away from Bhagavan. Swami Paramarthananda used to tell a story when he used to teach the Bhagavad Gita. One lady came to him and told him apparently that she had thrown away all the photos of Bhagavan in her house. And Swamiji naturally got a little bit worried and said, "What happened? Why?" He says, "I am not going to pray anymore." Why? Because Bhagavan did not get my daughter married. Even though I had this desire, he did not get her married. Therefore, I am not going to pray to this Bhagavan who did not grant me the wish. And Swamiji said, well, have you considered that perhaps by not making her get married, he is protecting her from a difficult life perhaps? And she hadn't thought of that. So then that's how he had to have many conversations with her to show her that that has nothing to do with this. See, sometimes the answer, you can't say every prayer is not answered. Every prayer is answered. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is not yet. Sometimes the answer is try again, little later. Sometimes the answer is, did you look at this boulder in front of you? That's not me. That's your own prarabdha. This prarabdha boulder is making you trip. So what do you have to do? You have to get bolder and bolder, and then this boulder will not trip you up anymore, and then you can try again. And then finally he could convince this lady. So this is what we mean by adridha vrata. So for whom the bhakti is fickle based on one's fulfillment of raga dvesha. Here that is not the case. Unfickle bhakti is called dridhavrataha. And so these people of dridhavrataha, mam upasate, mam ishvaram upasate. Then the manner of their upasana is given. Bhaktya upasate. First we'll take this, okay? So nityayuktaha dridhavrataha mam upasate. This is the sentence. How the manner of the worship is given in this word bhaktya, third case. The instrument of this upasana, the instrument of this worship is bhakti. With bhakti, they worship me. They worship me with great devotion. And then the devotion is now unpacked with the remaining words. Kirtayantaha, yatantaha, namasyantaha. These are all present participles. Namat, kirtayant, kirtayat, namat. And then what was the other one? Yajat. Yeah. So they are all present participles. Kirtayantaha. There is the present participle is used for an action that is not finishing. Kirtayantaha means praising me, singing my praises. How do you sing Bhagavan's praises? In a group, naturally. Otherwise, you can't sit and sing and call it sat sang. Okay, so for sat sang, there has to be people who sat and sang, and so there is like-minded people. The word kirtayantaha brings in other people that say, see, sometimes what happens that the old friends and the old connections naturally drop off because they are not interested in this. Night and day you are studying the Gita, who will we want to be your friend? You know? Think about it. You know, this happened even to Pujya Swamiji. Pujya Swamiji used to had a group of friends from his school days. And they all grew up in the same village in Manjakudi and everything. And then when he met Swami Chinmayananda ji, he was posted to Mumbai, and first he was in Bangalore, and he was taking out this newsletter called Tyagi with some religious articles, spiritual articles, etc. So when he went to Manjakudi for the holidays, it was a hot item because, oh, what's happening in Bangalore? Because these people had never left, so they wanted all the views and news. So they would invite him to lunch and dinner and movies and play a game of cards. And in the beginning he obliged. He said, okay, I haven't seen them, and so let me do this. But after one or two such outings, and he started to feel restless and bored of this. So then he said, okay, these two things I have done. And then he had invited Swami Chinmayananda to come. No, Swami Chinmayananda did not go to Manjakudi, but he went to Chennai. So when Swami Chinmayananda was in Chennai, he said, let's all go there and attend satsang. Let's all, oh, I am busy. I don't think I have the time. What is he going to talk on? Gita Jnana Yajna. What's that? Better not find out. And so this is how it is. So the regular people who you used to hang out, they will just suddenly stop inviting you, because they invite you, then you will invite them to the ashram and they don't want to come. Okay. So then what have these people here done? They have forged a new batch of friends with whom they can relate, because the pursuits are the same. So one Dridhavrata can hang out with another Dridhavrata, and together they have forged a wonderful connection, and because of that they are singing in ecstasy. Kirtayantaha. They are singing the praises of Bhagavan, and it's very elevating to sing the praises of Bhagavan, because all the things that we say about Bhagavan, apply to the singer. The limited notion, the notion that I am limited, goes away in singing, because the limited I commits suicide in this ocean of limitlessness. And then all that is left is the limitless. That's why the bhajan singing, kirtan singing is just so mesmerizing and immersive. It's like a mini samadhi, and along with other people. So kirtayantaha. So these people are what? They are together praising me, worshipping me. And then what? Then here there are two other words which we have to understand properly. So, after praising me, are they keeping quiet? No. Yatantahacha. They are leading normal lives, which has been spiritualized by the teachings of the Gita, etc., and by their own bhakti. They are leading normal lives. Perhaps they are married. Perhaps they have children. Perhaps they go to work. Perhaps they have to pay the bills. Perhaps they are building a house. They have all other desires. But then they are working towards those desires. They are not foolishly saying, like that lady in Swami Paramarthanandaji's class, Bhagavan should get this daughter of mine married. And then they are also working towards it. So yatantascha. Yatantascha means the operation of this pesky concept of free will here has come back. So here they are working for their own welfare. They may have ambitions, they may have goals, they may have desires, dharmic desires, and they are ready to fulfill them how? Dharmically. They work for that. And then, no matter how much you work, what happens? There are always hidden variables. So, all the known variables you can control, but the hidden variables you cannot control because you do not know what they are. The hidden variables here are what? They have only one name, Ishvara. Ishvara is the hidden variable. That makes one trip because we don't know how to control. Hidden variable is one's own prarabdha that comes in the way of the desire. So they don't just arrogantly work for their desires. Namasyantascha, look at the next word. Namasyantascha, they surrender to me. Namanakriyayaha. So through this Namanakriya, so through this Namaskara, they surrender to me. They worship me, they surrender to me, and at the same time they are not fatalistic. They are also working for their own welfare. In English we have a proverb. What is that? God helps those who help themselves. And I think it must have come from Sanskrit only. Udyamam sahasam dhairyam buddhishaktif parakramah shadete yatra vartante tatra devas sahayakrit. Devaha tatra, in certain circumstances, Devaha, Bhagavan, is sahayakrit, becomes the helper. When there is udyamam, udyamam is yatna, hard work. Sahasam is the enthusiasm, the ability to see something and to do something. Parakramam, the ability to take it to its completion, not leave it halfway. Dhairyam, courage to see something through. Buddhihi, the use of mental resources. Shaktihi, the use of physical, financial, all other resources available to one. Buddhi Shaktihi Parakramaha. Parakramaha means that inner confidence that yes, I will see this project through. When all these things are there, Bhagavan says, okay, I'll help you now. Very beautiful. And then so like that, here also they are not arrogant enough to think that they are the movers and shakers of their own life, and they are not passive enough to think that everything is determined, everything is there, so if something happens, let it happen, if it doesn't happen, let it not happen, yeah. This is not fatalistic, it is fatal, okay, yeah. It is not just fatalistic, it is totally fatal, inimical to one's life, because this free will is a prasada, it is given, use it. The ability to use it is also given. The ability to follow dharma is given. And so here these people have not left anything to chance. All the things are covered in this verse, very beautiful. Have we left anything out? No. All the words are covered. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayuktaha upasate. This is how they were. They help me. They seek me. This is how their attitude is prayerful, and they are always with me because they have surrendered to me, but at the same time they make whatever necessary efforts that are needed. And then some other people worship me with different ways. So there are three ways of worship that are talked about in the Shastra before we look at the next verse. One is called Ekarupa Bhaktihi. A typical example is ISKCON. ISKCON, for them nothing other than Lord Krishna exists. Even if you bring in Rama, that is secondary. Because even that Mahamantra, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that has been switched. How does the mantra go for them? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This is their bhakti. So that is called Ekarupa Bhakti. So for some people it is only Devi. For some people it is only this particular form. No other form is Bhagavan. And we find this also in the so-called monotheistic traditions, religions. And this is only God, nothing else is God. This is called Ekarupa Bhakti. And then we have you graduate from Ekarupa Bhakti to Anekarupa Bhakti. You say everything is nothing but the form of the Lord. This is a nice graduation. If that is, kindergarten, this is high school. Anekarupa Bhakti. Yes, the Lord can be masculine, can be Devi, can be feminine. The Lord is even things like fish, boar, all these things, Varaha. Boar is not spelled B-O-R-E, okay? Yeah. What is the spelling? B-O-A-R. Yeah. So then so that is Anekarupa Bhakti. Then there is one more Bhakti, which is what is talked about in the Vedanta Shastra. What is that? Arupa Bhakti. No form, but still the Bhakti is there. Jnani Bhakta. This is what the Jnani Bhakta described in chapter 7. Jnani tu Atmaiva me matam, the Lord declared. The Lord said, Jnani is nothing but myself alone. Arupa Bhakti. So, Ekarupa Bhakti, Dvaita Bhakti. Anekarupa Bhakti, Vishishtadvaita Bhakti, perhaps. Some little bit of correlation is there, not an exact correlation. Arupa Bhakti, Advaita Bhakti. So these are three general categories. There are many subcategories, but this is the kind of, if you map it out generally, the bhakti can take these particular iterations or forms. And that is what the Lord acknowledges in the next verse. Let us chant. Jnana yajnena chapyanye Yajanto mam upasate Ekatvena prithaktvena Bahudha vishvato mukham Anye mam upasate. Skeletal sentence. Anye, others, mam, me, worship, upasate. And then, how do they worship is all in the third case. They worship jnana yajnena. Jnana yajna is solely through a ritual called knowledge. Jnana, Atma Jnana. And then some people worship me as the only one form, Ekatvena. Some people worship me as separate, Prithaktvena, distinct from everything else. And then some people worship me as Bahudha. Bahudha means in many forms. And yet some people see me as Vishvato Mukham, as multifaceted. The universe alone is my face, like that. More we'll see this when. What is tomorrow? Monday. Tomorrow Swami Satsvarupananda ji will come to review chapter 2 at 4 o'clock. And then you will see me on Tuesday, both during the 4 o'clock and then 8:50. Only slight difference will be there. Instead of sitting here, I'll be there for 3 days. I'll be broadcast on the screen. 3 days I have to go out of town. Back on the 6th. Okay? Alright. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om